So today we're at the McMaster Children's Hospital, which is in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. My name is Beattie, and I am the parent advisor in the neonatal intensive care unit here at McMaster. I started here volunteering about 3 years ago, and that was motivated by the birth of my son. My son was born just over 5.5 years ago. His name is Freddie. It was a high-risk pregnancy from very early on in my pregnancy. We spent just over 3 months in the level 3 NICU here at McMaster, and then we spent the remainder of our stay in the level 2 nursery, also here at McMaster Children's. We went home from the hospital when he was just a little bit less than 5 pounds, and on December 23rd, 2013, the day before Christmas Eve. So you can imagine what Christmas was like that year. Anyways, that was the beginning of our road at home and the end of our NICU journey. So Snack Chat is a weekly gathering that we have of NICU parents, mostly. We hold it on Wednesday mornings in this family room here that we're in, which is right adjacent to the actual unit itself, so we're close by. We have it every Wednesday from 10:30 to 11:30 in the morning. Every parent who has a baby in the NICU is invited to attend. We also have grandparents sometimes, or other family members that would like to come and join us, and they're all welcome. Snack Chat was started because I had learned through friends and networks that other hospitals in Canada, the United States, had peer support programs, and McMaster didn't. And I thought, as the largest neonatal intensive care unit in the most populated province, we have a great opportunity to educate and support a lot of parents. And when I was here, we didn't have that, and I felt like that was missing. So I came back to the unit fairly regularly because I often work in this building, and I would meet with the medical team and thank them for the care that my son got, and at the same time said, we can do better. We can provide peer support for parents, and parents need that. And so Snack Chat was started in November of 2017, and we've held it weekly, and every week we have a different topic that we cover. So it's kind of an education and support session. Parents come together to learn about a specific topic that's NICU related or related to a baby's journey after they go home. There's a whole team that runs alongside me, and that team is made up of staff members from the actual neonatal unit here. So we have nurse practitioners and bedside nurses, social workers on our committee, and we discuss topics that need to be covered in the Snack Chat sessions, but we also change our topics based on the feedback that we get from families. I think it's hard to overestimate the power of peer support in the neonatal intensive care unit. There's a lot of evidence to show that peer support is powerful, and parents need to be able to talk to other parents who understand what they're going through. We often hear from our families, and I can speak from personal experience, that talking to a friend who had a full-term baby who was never hospitalized, it's hard to relate to that, and it's certainly hard to understand the stresses that parents experience every single day. And so talking to one another and being able to share experiences is really important, and people gain strength. Moms and dads gain strength from talking to other parents. I didn't have much peer support when I was here, but I certainly recognized that could have helped me in my own experience. The Canadian Premature Babies Foundation has been great. The foundation plays a huge role actually in our Snack Chat sessions. They are the reason that we have the snack part of Snack Chat. Every week we're able to provide our families with coffee and tea. Sometimes we have cold drinks. We have treats every week, and it just provides kind of a relaxing atmosphere for our families. A lot of the times our families are running in from, a long drive into the hospital that morning, didn't have time to eat breakfast, or, they've been awake since 5 and they're ready for their snack at 10:30, and, we have Rice Krispie Squares or donuts or whatever, and it helps families feel at home, and that's one area that we use some funds from the foundation. The other way that we use funds is for crafting. We often will do a craft at Mother's Day or Father's Day or at Thanksgiving or holiday season in December, and the funding that we get from the foundation is what we use, and those are mementos that families keep and cherish for a very long time. We talk to healthcare professionals that work in the unit, and they're very supportive of Snack Chat because they can see the benefit that it has for our families who are able to attend. They can encourage their moms and dads at the bedside to say, hey, I think that you'd really enjoy going to Snack Chat. You should try it. And once they try it, and once they come and join us, even if they don't say anything, 99.9% of the time it's a positive environment for them, and they really enjoy it and they're back. I would encourage other hospitals who don't have a Snack Chat or some kind of peer support program or something like this to try it. We didn't know how well it was going to take off when we started it, but we took the risk, and it was definitely worth it. And I can look back and say, I think my journey in the NICU could have been a little bit less stressful if it had been around. And now it's my privilege to be able to meet families every day and try to contribute to making their journey as positive as possible. And I consider myself lucky to have that chance.
My name's Carissa. I've been at the McMaster NICU for 8 months now with my son Mason. Mason was born at 27 and 2 weeks. His main struggle has been with his lungs. He's been through 2 surgeries now, 1 left to go, and he now has a trach vent and G-tube to help him with his breathing in his lungs that we'll be going home with eventually. He still has a bit of a way to go. We have to get his pressures down. So we're still looking at a bit more of a longer road here. So I was introduced to Snapchat during our first month here. Karen came by our bed spot. There was other parents who had mentioned it to me, and I was hesitant at first. I didn't really think people would understand what we're going through. We had a different story than most, but it was the food and coffee that enticed me the one day. I've been basically a weekly person at Snapchats now. It's been really great, just the resources we've got. We are learning all the things about how we can care for our child in the unit, how we can advocate for our child, and then also resources for going home, whether you're going home with a premature baby, whether you're going home with someone with extra equipment like oxygen or a ventilator. We're learning different things and resources in the community that way. Another way it's been a huge help is just the connections you make there. Sometimes we get off topic during Snapchat and it's almost promoted to do that, to just ask our own questions and make our own connections that way. And just by having those connections, I've been able to kind of have an understanding of what at home looks like, or I've been able to ask other parents who have had a similar path to us how they went about dealing with something, or if their child had the same thing, which then makes me feel better that we're not the only ones in that spot. I think my journey here in the NICU would be really different if I didn't have Snapchat. Snapchat has made me a stronger mother because it's taught me how to advocate appropriately for my child and what I should be looking for in terms of their care, what I could be doing to help Mason developmentally. It's also helped me just with the connections. I've been able to make so many connections here, not just with people from Snapchat, but staff and their nurses as well, where even though like you would much rather be home, but you start to gain a relationship with people here, so you can take your mind off the medical situation for a point in time and talk about things going on outside of the hospital or the NICU, or just make your feelings feel advocated in the way that you're not the only one feeling that way. So without Snapchat, you're very isolated to your own pod, and so it kind of joins the pods together more like that, where you wouldn't meet someone because they're in a 3 pods down. You get that opportunity to meet them and hear that their story's similar. And so my husband and I have already gone to someone we've met from Snapchat's house just so we can see what the setup is for trach and vent life after we go home. And we're planning to go to another friend's to see their setup also before we go home as well. I would just want to thank Karen Beattie because she's really made this program her heart. She's really puts everything into it to make sure there's different resources and asks for parent feedback, and is really on our team as parents and know how to advocate and brings our concerns up to be further. And also the Canadian Premature Babies Foundation for supplying the coffee and all the snacks, because it really helps get you through that day.